Hi, this is Mark Laughlin. Now, this is the video where I bring in, which is really a little bit more of my personal input into this, into self-defense weapons, use of weapons, or self-defense use of firearms. And that is ambidextral, being an ambidextral gunfighter, or being ambidextrous in the use of your weapon. Now, the reason, as I've covered, particularly on carbines and rifles, is to make best of use of cover. You want to shoot with around from cover, because remember, we're not shooting at a target. We are fighting something that may be trying to shoot back at us, or presumably is trying to kill us. Otherwise, you should not be in fear for your life. So you want to be shooting from behind cover. And that is protection from incoming fire with the minimal exposure of your body to incoming fire and just enough exposure to get your sighting eye and your weapon on the target. So in this case, I'd be shooting around cover on the left side. In this case, I'd be shooting around cover on the right side. And I go into a whole thing on how to do this, how to become where you basically eliminate, for the most part, any eye dominance. So either eye can pick up the sights. And that's mainly on carbines while I worry about sights. Now we get one of the later videos, we're going to talk about the Applegate technique of shooting pistols at ranges of up to about 20 to 25 feet. So better use of cover, better use of concealment, by being ambidextrous. That is, in my opinion, the main advantage of being ambidextrous. Now the other thing is on pistols, I advocate shooting primarily coming with your left hand in shooting a handgun. Now you still want to be ambidextrous, but initially, I think the handgun should be deployed with your left hand. Should be holstered on the left side, or any way you want to holster it, but retrieved using your left hand. So however, it's a cross draw or whatever, but deployed with your left hand. Now why? Why do I think you should use your left hand, and which for most people is going to be their weak hand as their primary? One is, in our world of using other tools in our environment, most people are using their right hand. Now think of like a motorcycle. If you're on a motorcycle has a throttle on the right hand side, and your front brake is on the right hand side. So you can control the motorcycle pretty well with just that right hand if you need to, and still deploy a weapon while riding a motorcycle. Also, driving a car, you can get outside the window and shoot forward with your left hand. Now, if you do need to shoot to the right or out the left side of the window, you can switch to your right hand. But what it really comes down to is in this close quarter, like we said earlier, most of these gunfights most of them are at arm's length. So usually the first thing is not going to be to go to your firearm in self-defense, but to either punch, push, or shove, or get away a little bit. So for most people, if they're punching, it's going to be their strongest punch is going to be with their right arm. The strongest push is going to be with their right arm. The strongest shove is going to be with the right arm. And so before bringing a firearm into the fight, it's often going to be preceded by a push or a shove, and then the firearm. And left-handed. That's why I'd say left-handed. And then you may also want to use your right hand to deploy your Applegate knife while you retrieve your pistol. Now the other thing is, you want to be, maybe can think of it as being primarily left-handed with your handgun, is to manipulate other objects, like maybe your phone, or to open doors, to maintain balance, to stabilize yourself. Grab a handrail as you're going up and down stairs. Deal with the rough terrain. Climb up some rocks. You're usually going to be a little bit better with that with your right hand. And also, when diving for cover, often you can carry your weapon in your left hand and help catch yourself with your right hand. Or dealing with children. If you're heading to a panic room and you've got your pistol out to deal with a threat, and you've got your children and you're leading them to a panic room or to safety somewhere, grab them with your right hand. Keep track of the children with your right hand. Now, an experiment I've done with this to show why this is not a big deal, really. I mean, it's one, you can learn to become ambidextrous. It's not. There's no mystic thing that's like you were born right-handed or born left-handed. You can become ambidextrous within just a couple of weeks. But do this little simple test. Take out a spray bottle and a rag and just set it out, and then pick out a window or something to wash, to clean with some Windex. There you go. So we've got our Windex here. Now when you pick up, most people I found, when they pick up a rag and a spray bottle, you know what? You're going to find that most people put the spray bottle in their left hand because they're spraying and cleaning with their right hand. Spray and clean. And then learn to switch. But primarily, for most people, start out spraying with their left hand and cleaning with their right. So this is our little example of doing some wet work with our Windex spray bottle.